everybody, and welcome back to the Knowledge Broker podcast for our 8th and final mini episode. How has it been for you, Josh?
Oh, I've liked doing these.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think it's they're good. They're quick and informative.
I think
Gives
so.
people good value. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, and they're fun to talk about. Neat things.
Yeah. They're not nothing bored you this season?
No.
This little mini season?
Good job. Nice job, Trish.
Oh, thank you. What can I say? You pay me the big bucks to find some hot topics.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for our final episode today, we want to talk about something that directly affects your house, especially if you're looking to get some good bang for your buckage. So, what influences the value of your house? So, a lot of people don't actually realize that it doesn't just take some hot renovations and some eco-friendly doorbells to influence the value of your house. So I want us to dive deep into that today and really suss out some other key elements to what might influence your house.
Yeah.
Off the top of your head.
Location's number one.
Mm-hmm.
No question. Location, but location to what, right? So location would be in sought-after areas where people want to live, that offer good schools for kids, that are close to shopping or downtown areas, transit if that's necessary. So that would be kind of like your location. On top of that, value-wise, a lot of people, as much as it doesn't change, people still love nice, beautiful kitchens, big, spacious bathrooms, nice flooring. A lot of people still are not carpet people. You'd be surprised how most people are not. Some are, oddly enough.
My mom is.
Yeah, carpet for bedrooms mostly, because they want it to be warmer. I don't know.
That's what my mom says. She says it likes it on my feet.
Sure.
And she says when you walk through the house, if it's a dark color, you can't see the dirt when you walk in with your shoes. So.
Fair. So some people do like it. Windows and whatnot, they don't necessarily give a lot of people great value, but I'd say the views that you get from your room.
So the view, not the actual window.
Not the actual windows,
Yeah.
but I mean like the actual, the sights that you see from your house.
I can't imagine someone going up to a window and being like, oh my God, this is a beautiful window.
Oh, I've seen a few that I like, but that's just me.
Really?
Yeah. There's these old windows that are called Peller windows, and they're this company's still around, but they're original old wood windows that are stunning, and they can be 30 to 40 years old, and they're still in top notch. And when you see those, I go, oh, those are good windows. And people are like, they're old and woody. And I'm like, that's why they're nice.
That's how I like it.
So, I mean, there are windows out there that are kind of cool, but regardless, the view.
Yeah.
The view's key. I think people want to be around, they want to be at home where they can feel good.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to necessarily look out the window and see a god-awful sight, whether it's a neighbor that doesn't pick up after themselves or the highway. So, I mean, like that kind of comes back to location, but it's also a matter of where the windows are in the house. You'd be surprised how there's certain views. If you ever sit down in your home and there's certain things maybe in your backyard that are your favorite, but there's no window looking at it.
Yeah, or you're looking at the brick wall of your neighbor's house.
Sure.
Yeah.
So how
or
do
your
you,
windows line up with your neighbors.
Yeah, and if you find, you know how like often at the back of the house is the kitchen? A lot of the time.
Yeah.
But do you spend as much time in the kitchen as you do in the living room? I would probably say no. You'd be surprised how many living rooms are not at the back of the house.
Living room or family room?
Well, wherever, I guess you're the biggest living space. Family room, we'll call it living room.
Okay.
Just very much where like the family comes in. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I find that those rooms where you sit down to watch TV or hang out with family on the couch, that should have the best view. Because then you can ultimately like sit there and relax on a day when obviously the TV's off, the sun's coming in a little bit.
Yeah.
Have the window open, and before you know it, like your house becomes like a serene place to be.
That's very true. I mean, my house does, like my kitchen and my family room are like right next to each other, so I do face on the backyard. But you're right. Now that I'm thinking about other houses, that's not the case.
Not usually, yeah.
Not
and you'd be
usually.
surprised how like even with townhouses, which are very the trend these days for everywhere you go, jam in as many houses as you possibly can. They have no side windows.
Yeah.
So there's front and back only.
Yeah.
Some of them don't even have a front window because the only front window is the front door. So then before you know it, the back of the house is only like maybe a small patio door and a small window. And it's like if you're going to buy one of those houses, they're great as long as like you face something nice or you have natural light coming in.
Yeah, because if the sun doesn't hit that point of the house at any time of the day.
So it's kind of like to be trick out there. Not a trick, but real estate agents, what we do in those houses, turn all the lights on Every single light you can ever think of.
Mm-hmm.
So when people come through the house, they feel bright. But if you want a little, like, what do you want to call it? Hack? Go to a house and turn off all the lights and see what the house is like. If you find that you don't need light bulbs on, you're in a well-lit house. If you find that every single light needs to be on in order to see anything, it's a dark house.
So we just learned how important windows are.
Yeah.
If you ever underappreciated windows, as I was 3 minutes ago, I have learned my lesson.
So natural light's obviously a value
Windows
to me,
are the kitchen of walls, okay?
Sure.
Like, these apparently are big deals.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big value to me and to clients as we go around. I think a lot of people do value, they like having decent sized foyers. So that when people come in the house when it's freezing cold, because we are in Canada, and you can tell that we're kind of like, when we say freezing, we're getting old of it.
Yeah.
But when people come in and they all want to get in the house because it's cold outside, before you know it, like their boots are piling up, or maybe they're congested and they're trying to take their jackets off. So I think decent sized foyers make people feel like at least a value. Bedrooms, it's a tough call. I'm a true believer, and a lot of people that I talk to are like, it's where you sleep.
Yeah.
So do you need to have this huge monstrosity of a bedroom? I mean, like if you do, you'd be surprised how empty it is when you fill it with the furniture you have, and it's still huge.
Yeah, or you start cluttering it, and you're like,
That
what is
too.
the point of this?
That too. Other things of value. Landscaping is sometimes a value if people want to have something nice to drive up to or look
Hashtag
at.
curb appeal, people.
Yeah, or curb appeal and or backyard appeal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, someone turned around me and said, Josh, I'm going to put some money into my house. Front yard or backyard? I'd be like, well, which one are you going to enjoy?
It's true.
So it comes back to like what we value is often what we enjoy.
I think, yeah, I feel like if you're putting money in your house and it's not because you're selling, I'd probably favor the backyard. But if you want to put some money into your landscaping because you're selling, I'd say front yard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially front yard.
Yeah.
People drive up to and they see curb appeal.
Oh, totally.
But I mean, if you're selling, if you said, I'm going to stick around, I'm going to spend a whole bunch of money, I'm going to do it at the front. I'm like, well, if you're doing it because you love the value of your house going up, sure. But if someone said, which one do you like more? I'm like, which one do you value more?
Yeah, exactly.
Like if your backyard, maybe some people are front yard sitters.
I mean, if you got a nice veranda.
Sure.
Like
some people like
a nice
people
wraparound
watching.
porch. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's his value.
Well, I've got a couple.
All right, let's go.
Okay, so I know you said location, and that's fine, but also the neighborhood.
Right.
I think the neighborhood adds a lot of value to your house because, yes, you might be close to a ton of stuff, but is it a friendly neighborhood, low crime? Like, is it like walkable? Is it, there's other elements to your neighborhood that really do boost the value of your home. Like, for example, where your home is located, you're in a nice, central Newmarket neighborhood kind of thing, right? So it's great because you've got a great walking distance to Main Street. You have great walking distance to trails. You are close to other stuff, but you're on a very quiet street.
Yeah.
So there's like those kind of elements as well do add value to your home.
Yeah.
Because those are other ways you can sell it in a way too.
Yeah. It's funny how it all depends on the person, right? I know some people that they rent and they would rather, I mean, perfectly, they'd be on not a busy street, but they love being access to transit. So it's almost like if they knew that subway was right up front their front door, you might hear the subway. But I mean, that's kind of the price you got to pay to have a subway right there.
I used to live on top of the subway when I was living downtown Toronto.
Did you have access to it, like right below the building?
Yeah. Oh, no, like I couldn't go into the subway from my building. But like the fact that it was like came out the front yard and then 2 minutes into the subway was unbelievable.
Sure.
Like that was one of the most, the one thing I appreciated most about my building was like literally the subway was right there.
You have access to the whole entire city by 10 steps,
10 steps, and then the streetcar was across the street from that. Bulk barn was next to that, so I was a very happy camper. Yeah.
And it's funny how it comes back to the person. For you, that would have been a perfect value.
To someone else, that might have been a nightmare.
People that have kids, they probably want to have access to parks.
Yes.
People that are retired, they probably want to be besides close to their kids and their grandkids. They would often probably appreciate like theater and other recreational and cultural type things that they have time to do. Even shopping. I mean, have you ever seen, like I know some people, they go and they buy a house in, we'll call it the boonies, wherever that is. And to some, the boonies would be Newmarket to Toronto, and for Newmarket, the boonies would be like Alliston, and beyond that to Northern
Alliston
Ontario.
Is like Timmins.
Sure. Imagine if you went to get groceries once every 2 weeks, but you had to drive like an hour and a half, 2 hours. there
Yeah.
and then back.
Or you have to bring your groceries with you basically for
Sure.
2 weeks.
Yeah, I know. My wife Christy, she has a friend. One of her friends grew up in Northern Ontario, where when someone was going into a main town, maybe Ottawa or somewhere else, they would tell everybody in town knew, because if they needed something, they were going to get it.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So the town actually, when they said, "Oh, like Tom's going into Ottawa, if you guys need anything," so the word spread around town, and then if Tom was going in, he was going in to get a few things for everybody.
Interesting.
So I mean, like, and I think it was like a 3 or 4 hour drive. So it was like a big return.
Yeah. Okay, something else that I know that I think adds value is the age and condition of your house.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely, I don't know too much about this, but maybe you can elaborate a little bit more. But if the older the house, maybe the lesser the value. Obviously, the condition
Maybe the
of
better
it.
location if it's the older the house.
Maybe that's true. It could be a
Yeah.
better location.
Condition, no doubt. I think people find value in that because it's kind of like, are they buying a house that's in good condition? I think a lot of people like that because obviously it's newer. They don't have to put as much money into fixing it up. They also don't sit there and have breezy windows and breezy doorways. Older houses typically have really bad insulation. More the mechanical side of things. Your hydro is often higher because it's not as efficient. Your gas is usually not as efficient because they're a bit leaky. Even like your actual furnace is older. So it's kind of like all these components to a house. It's very much like a human. Like if you think about like from like birth when the house is built to as it gets older. The funny thing is houses will outlast humans all day. But there's definitely an age of a house, and they start to break down.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like you got to keep them in check. You can change components as you go, but you could practically rebuild a house, but then before you know it, it's expensive.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they're not into that. So yeah, value for sure to have a good condition home.
Yeah. So going back to actually something you said a little bit earlier, you were talking about how if someone asks you what part of the house to put money into. Obviously, say if you have not a fixer-upper, but, you've got a house you haven't upgraded in a bit. And they're like, you know what, we want to sell, we want to throw a ton of money into upgrading the house. What rooms do you think are the most important to upgrade that will get you the most value? You said kitchen?
Kitchens and washrooms. I'd love to give you another word or another room, but it's really hard because it's almost always the two.
Yeah.
It's almost always like kitchens, and I get it because I think they're just high traffic areas.
Yeah, so they need to be durable.
Sure, durable and cleanish.
Yeah, nice.
Bedrooms, you'd be surprised how bedrooms often are last.
Yeah.
Basements typically are last. Bedrooms are like kind of last. You go into different bedrooms and you still see wallpaper on people's rooms because they're just like, and then the rest of the house might be new.
Yeah.
But they just leave it.
It is funny. It was always for basements. Like I have a finished basement, but a lot of people I know never finish their basement. And they can still sell their house for like a lot of money. It's funny how sometimes basements are such an area that's kind of like, well, we can either finish it or we don't have to finish it. It's going to sell either way. But if you had like a not finished bedroom on your main floor, people would be like, that's a little bit weird.
Yeah, it's living in Canada. Basements are a thing.
Yeah,
you have to have them. Foundation walls support it for like freezing. You go south of I don't know where, probably like Pennsylvania or something, North Carolina. Below that, no basements. So basements are our thing. And then people said, okay, well, if you got basements, why not finish them and make them something? Back in the day, all the older century homes that are around here, almost all of them no basements. Almost all of them were crawl spaces.
Yeah.
And this was when they were based on like a boiler or a radiator system. So they didn't even need a furnace. So the crawl spaces were literally sometimes like 2 feet, or 3 feet to get below the frost line. And then eventually they started digging the basements down and giving access to them. So they had more finished space.
Yeah.
But you and I both know a basement they're colder. It's Canada. We're in the ground. Can you warm them up? That's key. And if you have a lot of brightness, back to the natural daylight. If you had a bit of natural daylight in a basement, you'd be surprised how much more usable it is. So I think like when it comes to value, it's kind of like, well, like for you personally, what would you value? Room finished first. And can't go kitchen washing because we already used it.
The first room, probably the family room.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What would you do?
If I had I definitely like to have big windows. like long horizontal windows, not the vertical ones with the little side thing. I want big windows.
Yeah.
And like I just like a nice fresh color that's like very like an awake color, like something that you go in and you don't feel like drowsy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know like you mostly spend your time in your family room probably at night, but for me I'd always like if it was like the room to start the day and end of the day, so something kind of like neutral.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that
really I like it.
but
would you have so you would do that, so you want like windows,
I
nice
want something
colors,
that's cozy, like,
sure.
like
So a value would be like investing in the furniture.
yes, well, furniture and feel, because like basically like my dream living room would be like when you go to like a hotel in the Caribbean, like very light and fluffy and just like comfy, but also like relaxing. And
So the environment kind of,
yeah,
like the experience.
yes, exactly. And I just want to like be able to throw open the windows in my like sarong and be like, it's a beautiful summer day. And
Yeah, this is the one thing that I love about condos.
yeah,
Condos are up in the air.
yes, it's very true. Yeah.
You get brightness. I don't care what condo you're in. I mean, as much as they're built like beside each other and so close to each other in most metropolis areas, you still have floor to ceiling windows, almost always.
Yeah.
And you can create that environment and put like comfy everything, white, fluffy. It's like a hotel. So yeah, I think you can get that, and I almost taking that and transplanting into your home. I get it. I'm into it.
I love me a good condo.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, on that note, that is it for the Knowledge Broker mini episode series. I hope that you've enjoyed it as much as we have. We'll be coming out soon with more information about our next season of the Knowledge Broker podcast, so stay tuned for that.
Thank you very much, guys.
All right. Have a good week. Bye.
Take care.
Thank you very much for stopping by our channel. If you have any questions or if you're looking to buy or sell, go to our website and contact us today. Knowledge is power and creates experts in understanding. If you want power, hit thumbs up on this video and subscribe to our channel so you can get weekly videos from me, your knowledge broker.